Hi everybody, welcome to our weekly training video. This week I am talking about whether or not your dog is ready to take treats from your hand. I do want to talk next week about some training tips for training your dog to take treats from your hand. But first I thought it would be a good idea to spend a little time talking about when it is appropriate or safe or a good idea to attempt the training in the first place. And when should you continue to just toss treats to your dog instead of trying to hand feed. Okay, so let's take a look at some video and slides. Should you give treats by hand? 3 reasons to avoid hand feeding. All right, the question is my dog ready to take treats from my hand? We often want our dogs to take treats from our hand, but lots of our fearful pups, it's just not a good idea. So I would say, no, your dog is not ready for you to start trying to get them to take treats from your hand if, 1, they won't approach you readily, so they always keep a little buffer of space. Don't try to hand feed that dog. 2, if the dog inconsistently eats near you, so you toss treats to them and sometimes they'll eat them, sometimes they won't. It's not time to then increase difficulty by trying to get them to take a treat from your hand. And 3, if the dog ever behaves aggressively toward you, we don't want to encourage the dog then to come closer to you to get a treat from your hand. Keep tossing treats. You need to address that aggression first. So why bother training this in the first place? If you can just toss treats to your dog and they'll eat them, why bother trying to train them to take a treat from your hand? Well, it's very helpful in training later behaviors if your dog will take a treat from your hand or follow a food lure in your hand. So it's really helpful for you in later training. And it does pair your hands with good stuff if your dog can learn that you reaching toward them often predicts a treat. Now, I should point out, again, this is for you and your dog. I would not recommend training your dog to take treats from the hands of strangers. If they're afraid of strangers, that can put the dog in a situation where they might bite. All right, let's look at just a few quick video examples. All right, should I try to hand feed this dog? What do you think? I would say no. You see, the dog is always keeping that space buffer, not approaching. How about this is Pancake early on? I would say don't hand feed this dog. You can see that he wouldn't eat until I left. And here's Pancake again with my husband coming in. Should my husband try to hand feed him? No, because he behaves aggressively toward him. Okay, so just to review, your dog is not ready for you to try to hand feed them if they don't approach you all the way, like all the way up to you readily. If your dog doesn't consistently eat treats when you're nearby, and if your dog ever behaves aggressively toward you. Don't try to then get them to come closer to take a treat from your hand. That could result in a bite. All right, everyone, I hope that was helpful. You can get more confidence building tips if you sign up for our weekly newsletter. That'll get the link to our latest blog delivered to your inbox each week, and you can sign up at the link at the bottom here. All right, I'll see you next week with some tips on actually training a dog to take treats.